Hello, and welcome to round 2 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast for the week of July 18th. I'm Terry Morrow, and I'm here with Catherine Haleko.
Hello.
Usually on this podcast, we talk about parenting issues, but once a week, Catherine and I like to get together to discuss TV, movies, books, and other entertainment topics because it's nice to talk about something other than parenting for a change. This week, we continued with Season 2 of Only Murders in the Building and Season 1 of Rutherford Falls. So, Only Murders in the Building. A new character gets introduced, and some old characters are back in the building.
Hello, Nathan Lane.
And hello, James Caverly, the deaf actor who plays Theo and impressed us so much the first time we saw him. Or the first episodes, I guess, from Season 1.
Yes.
Really excellent. And I'm happy to see him back, and I hope it's not just this one episode, because there was a whole little mini drama going on through that people, you know, without all the other things going on. The scenes between him and Nathan Lane are always very powerful.
Yes.
And so even though I can imagine it will be awkward for our 3 podcasters to keep running into the father and son in the elevator and or son, you know, it's I'm kind of happy we're getting everybody back in the mix. Even Jan.
Yes.
At the end there.
Yes.
Aye. But we also meet a new character in Lucy, Charles's ex-girlfriend's daughter, with whom he had sort of a fatherly relationship back when she was a cute little tot singing while her omelet was being made. And now she is a apparently troubled teen who makes Mabel feel old the same way she makes the guys feel old.
Right.
and she got sent packing back to her mom at the end of the episode, but I hope we'll see her again, too.
Yeah.
I think they should have kept her around. I think she's going to put a fresh eye on the situation.
That's right.
But Charles, of course, wants to protect her.
Yes.
But she tipped them into the fact that there is a whole network of tunnels within the Arconia.
Right. They have found another way for for the team to eavesdrop and otherwise get information about other people in the building. Like, they've continued to come up with new scenarios and circumstances, and this is an elaborate one because there's a whole. I mean, they can basically see and hear every apartment in the building.
But then, of course, that means somebody can see and hear them as well.
Right, and enter the apartment.
Exactly. So, Lucy was an awful little girl in the flashback we saw to be crawling around dusty, cavernous hiding places.
That's true.
Yikes.
Yeah, they said it's been 8 years, and she can't be more than, 16, so...
Yeah, so she would have been...
6, 7, 8, somewhere around there. Mm-hmm.
Pretty intrepid. And how does Mabel, who also sort of grew up in that building, not know about these?
Yeah.
Because they've clearly been there since before pretty much everybody here was born.
Right.
So, interesting. And convenient.
Very.
Extremely convenient.
And yet another clue or means of framing them has turned up in Charles's apartment. A bloody knife.
Yes. This is why we never pull any of the knives out of our butcher blocks. They just sit there looking pretty.
Yes.
But it was actually...
It was Lucy who pulled it out.
Yes, and it was it was Oliver's knife. He recognized it as his knife, so they're just...
Right.
Implicating everybody all over the place. But then in creeping around, they hear Nina say things that seem very incriminating.
Right.
But later, when they visit her apartment and she starts giving birth right there, she seems to have a fondness for Bunny.
Right.
So, as you said last week, she's a red herring.
Yeah, we knew that wasn't... Right. That was way too early in the season and way too, obvious for that to be... the real deal, for sure.
Yeah. And Teddy and Oliver were in the elevator together, awkwardly. And Teddy made all sorts of not at all veiled threats against him.
Right.
But then later we see through the peephole, or the grate, I guess.
Yeah.
Theo telling him that he's a man, he's not a boy, and he's taking care of himself, and he doesn't want his dad doing things for him, I guess. So that was...
Yeah. And that prompted...
Listen, I want my kids to pick out their own vehicles and stuff, but when it comes to getting a lawyer, it's me.
Or any kind of revenge.
Yes, revenge plots. You go to Dad for the revenge plot, son. Oh, well.
But that did prompt Oliver to go and help his son, who's trying to direct a elementary school production of The Wizard of Oz.
Yes, it was all sorts of parenting themes in this in this episode, just for us.
Yeah.
You know? But seems like I would not be surprised if Lucy's back. She doesn't seem like her mom's going to be welcoming her home with open arms.
Right.
Possibly she will prevail upon the driver to ignore Charles's request for no
Right,
stops.
his multiple requests of straight to Connecticut. I mean, Connecticut's a whole state. There's a lot of places in Connecticut.
I mean, maybe she has to go to the bathroom and then...
Oops.
Yeah. But fun to have another even younger person involved.
Yeah.
And poor Charles, when he shows up for work at Brazos, he finds that he is supposed to be in a wheelchair with a touch of dementia.
Right. And a very unfortunate hairstyle.
Yes. Oh, dear. Because the network wants to be able to ditch him if he gets arrested.
Right. If he goes to jail, they're trying to cover their bases before that happens.
So at the very end, after putting Lucy in a car, we see Charles at a prison table with glass in front of it, and we know who's going to be on the other side of it before we see it. What do you think he wants to know from Jan?
I don't know. I mean, do you think that he thinks that she knows about some of these secrets of the building? I mean, like the physical building.
Yeah.
Or does she have thoughts about who has a motive to kill Bunny?
Why would she cooperate with him?
I don't know.
Why would she not just mess with him like Teddy is doing?
Right. She certainly looked like she was prepared to be messing with him.
Yes.
The look on her face was kind of terrifying.
This seems like a bad idea. Maybe the worst idea we've seen since Veronica Mars went and chatted up
Abel Koontz.
Yes. Sweetie, really, maybe it's better not to know. Just stay away.
Yeah.
This sort of thing never turns out well. Oh, man.
Yeah, it's a good question of what he thinks he can get out of it.
I don't know. But I would have been happy not seeing her again, honestly. Excellent performance, excellent character the first season.
Right.
Is everybody going to be back? If they keep having everybody back and then adding new people, pretty soon they're going to need that pod on top of the Arconia to fit
to fit the new people. Yeah, I mean, they did sort of wash their hands of Oscar, by saying... That was...
Doesn't mean...
Yeah.
I mean, Jan's in jail.
Right.
Teddy and Theo were in jail. They were... out
of the picture. Yep.
Yep, and here they are. But Bunny was dead, and she still got an episode.
That's true.
So Oscar could return.
Yes. How about those two guys who had the plant podcast?
Yeah,
Remember them from season 1?
Everybody gets to come back.
Come back. Well, yeah, and back in episode 1, you had Cinda Canning.
That's right, who has been
the detective
since.
Yeah.
Is Cinda Canning still doing podcasts about them?
Yeah.
Apparently the internet is just all abuzz over Mabel and her many life experiences.
Right.
To listen to Lucy.
Right.
amusing to see Mabel being freaked out by a young person.
Right.
Just seems to know so much about her.
And she's got the slang that even Mabel cannot decipher.
This is what happens, kids. Eventually there's somebody younger than you.
Right.
And you will feel like Brazos in a wheelchair with a touch of dementia.
Exactly.
Well, that was interesting. I enjoyed meeting Lucy, and I hope we see more of her. And did she not explain to Charles that she had been in the catacombs there when Bunny was killed and...
Yeah, she didn't.
Had seen somebody walking around?
Yeah.
She was recording that, and I thought maybe she would have sent it to him or something, but that didn't seem to have happened. Why would she not have told him that?
Yeah, good question.
Well, she's lucky whoever that was allergic to dust and so turned back rather than investigating.
Right.
Ay. Creepy. Creepy old building.
Yes.
Okay, well,
another old building.
Another old building
Falls.
Is the namesake of Rutherford Falls, Season 1, Episode 2, Buckhart Lodge. You know, in this episode, having heard us say on the pilot is Ed Helms just going to be a big old piñata for this thing? They said, no, wait, we'll get a bigger piñata, and we'll hit that instead. It'll be fine. It'll make him look so much better because we'll have this bigger piñata who's really... So... I did enjoy the whole subplot of the, what is the casino owner's name? It's...
Terry.
Terry, so it should be easy for me to remember. Terry making Reagan, who I think we called Reagan last.
I feel like she gets called both, but yeah.
The character who is called Reagan pretty consistently this episode made her, like, do various tasks of reconciliation.
Yes.
All these different homes and places so that he could talk people into something, into his great enterprise, which he has given her no details about.
Right.
But this way she can be back in with the tribe.
With the community.
So that after having apparently rejected somebody at the altar 9 years ago, was it?
Something like that. And a long time.
Everybody has been mad at her since
Ever since.
Ray. So she has to go and humiliate herself in front of Ray's mother. And then suddenly she's getting friend requests, and everybody's accepting her.
Right.
So, but what she does not know is that what she has facilitated the achievement of is Terry suing Nathan. Dun, dun, dun.
Yep.
And we also met the very put-upon PR woman whose job it is to clean up all the messes that Nathan makes.
That Nathan keeps making.
Yes. So first she had to, scrub the internet of his viral video from episode 1.
Right.
And then he goes to see this old professor of his who's writing a book on Rutherford Falls and discussing with him the need to keep the history and that therefore they should publish a chapter of his book in the paper. And he says, no, we'll do on my podcast. Because, of course, everybody has a podcast. And this is now 2 shows we're watching where a podcast is central to the action.
Yes.
And he says a whole bunch of terrible things. And Ed Helms would really like to edit the podcast. By the way, any guests coming onto our podcast? Actually, you know what? You could just take it and edit it yourself if you want.
Right. Terry will take a week
off.
I'll
stand on principle, actually. Here, I'll take the weekend off. You edit it, you chop it up, you load it up to Spreaker. Catherine and I will sit in our backyard sipping pina coladas, and it'll be great. But in order
the Ed Helms character, Nathan, he's certainly not agreeing with any of these statements. He is trying very hard to be like, no, that is not what I think,
Yes, and this guy keeps bloviating because he is a plot piñata.
Yes.
And so then he says, well, if you want to edit the thing, we have to settle things the way they did in the old days at Buckhart Lodge. And the way they settled in the old days was through fighting.
Right.
But conveniently, the guy passes out from drink before he can do any damage to
Nathan, but he has done some damage to the building itself.
He does do damage to the building itself, absolutely. Yes. And also, apparently the episode gets released anyway. And
Right.
poor PR lady has to, make it as if it never happened.
Make it go away.
Which apparently she has the capability to do. Which...
Yeah, and I mean, you gotta think that guy doesn't have a lot of listeners.
That's true. But if this gal has the ability to scrub the internet of anything embarrassing, she could be making a lot more money than she is at Rutherford Industries, I gotta think.
Right.
If she's got those skills, she could be very popular.
Yeah.
And very well and lucratively employed by many, many people. So
I think she's doing okay at Rutherford Industries.
She probably is, but I think she could have a excellent freelance career or start her own business. If that were her skill set.
Right. If that were her dream.
It seems like a lot of people don't have somebody like that in their corner.
Right.
Oh well. So I mean, this one was as with the first one. I see where they're going here. And we'll see if I want to go there with it. But I don't mind watching another episode.
All right.
There were amusing
moments.
It's
a week-by-week decision from Terry.
Well, no, I'm stuck because we've committed to watching this.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's...
The eagerness with which the one thing that is weird is that I guess I have the level of Peacock in which there's still commercials. And I keep thinking that the commercial is part of the show. Because, I mean, there was a commercial for the Rutherford Company.
Yes.
That was part of the show.
Right.
And then they'll go to somebody putting on a sweatshirt and smelling it. And I'm saying, oh, who is this now? Oh, it's Downey. There's like it doesn't seem to be like the appropriate commercial now.
Right.
It just goes like,
hey, Terry, you can stop paying attention for 30 seconds.
Not until they say Downey that I realize, oh, wait, it's a commercial.
Right.
So, I wish Peacock would be a little more. They should have an act break, a little black screen, and then you get your commercial.
Yes.
Oh, well. It's freaking me out a little bit. So... Next week, we will watch Only Murders in the Building, Season 2, Episode 5, The Tell. And Rutherford Falls, Season 1, Episode 3, Aunt Ida's 90th birthday. So quaint. So much quaintness. And that is going to be it for our Round 2 today. Please subscribe to our Parenting Roundabout podcast so you won't miss any of our episodes. We have something new for you every weekday. As always, you can find recaps, links, and an opportunity to comment on our website at parentingroundabout.com. Goodbye, Catherine.
Bye, Terry.
Goodbye, everybody.